We want all of us to know who is Nelson Mandela, the biographer of Nelson Mandela, and the journey of Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela was a South African citizen and a former president of the South Africa from a clan of Madiba. This Nelson Mandela is a person that really stayed in a place of Eastern Cape. And on 18th July 1918, his mother Monoko Maseko and his father Nkosi Gadara Mandela, principal counselor of the acting king in the Them People, Jontina Del Dia, in 1930. When he was 12 years old, his father died, and the young Mandela, became a ward of the Jongitaba, the great person Mikwenzeni. Hearing elder stories, this Nelson Mandela attended primary school in Kwenu, where his teacher, Miss Ndingame, gave him the name Nelson. Nelson is a name that means which is a Christian name, where people in the schools used to name the students or these children at school the Christian name. He completed his junior certificate in Kalbak Boarding Institute and went to Hilltown Awesome Secondary School of the repute, where he matriculated. Now, Nelson Mandela started his studies of Bachelor's of Arts degree at the University of Oregon, Fort Hare, but did not complete the degree. There he was expelled and went home. But the father got out and said, no, if it is happening like this, then I'm going to collect for you wives, you get to marry. Nelson Mandela, on his return to Nelson Mandela, when he heard this, he had to run from home. Nelson Mandela, his studies of Bachelor's Arts and degree at the College of Fort Hare's degree, there where he was expelled, Nelson Mandela went. On his return to the great palace of Matoko, the king was furious and said, if he returned and said, if he didn't get back, he will arrange the wives of him and his cousins. Justice. Then he ran to Johannesburg, instead arriving there in 1941. There he worked as a mine security officer, and after meeting the Walter Sisulu in the estate agent, he introduced to Rosa Saldi. He then did his article through a firm of Anthony Whitting, Elderman, and Saldisk. He completed his BA through the University of South Africa and went back to Fort Hare for his graduation in 1943. That was Nelson Mandela's journey of the story. Unfortunately, meanwhile, he began studying the LLB at the University of Witwatersrand by his own admission. He was a poor student and left the university in 1952 without graduating. You can see how all this started. He started studying again through the University of London after his imprisonment in 1962. How many of you that were born? Asking. But also did not complete that degree. You can imagine. The life wasn't fair for Nelson Mandela. In 1989, meanwhile, in the last 4 months of his imprisonment, he obtained an LLB through the University of South Africa. He graduated in the absentia of ceremony in Cape Town. That was. And in politics, Mandela, while increasing the political involvement in 1942, only joined the African Nation Congress in 1944, where he helped on form of ANC Youth Ridge. In 1944, he married Walter Sisulu cousin, Evelyn Mercy, a nurse. They had 2 sons, Madiba, Thembekile, Thembi, and Mangato, and 2 daughters, both called Mokaziwe. The first of whom died in the infancy. He and his wife divorced in 1958. Mandela rose through the rank of the ANC through his efforts. The ANC adopted a more radical mass Best Policy, the Program of Action in 1949. Did you know how Mandela looked during his young age? This was Mandela, the one you're seeing. In 1952, he was chosen the national volunteer and the chief of the defense campaign with Marv Chancharia as the deputy. This campaign of civil disobedience against six unjust laws was joint program between ANC and the South African India Congress. He and the 19 others were charged under the Suppression of the Communism Act for their part in the campaign and sentenced 9 years of hard labor, suspended for 2 years. A 2-year diploma in the law on top of his BA allowed Mandela to practice law. And in August 1952, he and Olivier Tambo established South Africa's first black-owned law firm. In 1950s, Mandela and Tambo. At the end of 1952, he was banned for the first time. As a restricted person, he was only permitted to watch in a secret as the Freedom Charter was adopted in Cape Town on 26 June 1955. The Treason trial, this is where we're going. Now Mandela was arrested in a countrywide police swoop on 5th December 1956, which led the 1956 Treason trial. Men and women of the race found themselves in the dock in the marathon trial that only ended when the last 28 accused, including Mandela, were acquitted on 29th March 1962. On 21st March 1960, police killed 69 unarmed people in the protest in Sharperville against the pass law. This led the country's first state of emergency and banning of the ANC and the Pan-African Congress. On 8th April, Mandela and his colleagues in the Treason trial were among the thousands detained during the state of emergency. During the trial, Mandela married a social worker, Winnie Madikizela, on 14th June 1952. They had 2 daughters, Zenani and Zandswa. The couple divorced in 1996. The life of Mandela in marriage didn't really move on well, but we all know that this all came because of his fights with the government of South Africa, and the lady couldn't maintain the situation. The day before the end of the trial, Mandela traveled Pietersburg to speak at the All in Africa conference, which resolved that they should write to Prime Minister Vaud requesting a national convention on a national racial constitution, and to warn they should he not agree, there would be a national strike against South Africa becoming the republic. After he and his colleagues were acquitted in the Treason trial, Mandela went underground and began planning a national strike for 29, 30, and 31st March. To stop up from there, would you wish us to continue with the story of Nelson Mandela? I want to stop for today here. We'll continue with the story. If you're interested in this story, comment. I'm interested to know more how this went. If you're interested, let me know. I'll keep updating you. I'm called Prosper Magics. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to share. Thank you so much. Have a blessed day.